Hello friends, and welcome to this another chapter of this module. Today we will have a look at what are the common job search mistakes that we as an individual do, right? So in this chapter we will have a look at how lack of structure and discipline impacts your job search, how poor result and poor CV will impact. We will see the importance of cover letter. Most importantly, the poor networking, consequences of poor networking, and careless follow-ups. And ultimately, finally, we will have a look at the result of not preparing well for your interviews, right? So friends, first, lack of structure and discipline, right? Now the issue is that we don't take job search as that much seriousness as we take as the job. So first thing what you need to do is that treat the job search process as a job in itself and apply the same discipline and structure to all the activities that you would apply for your job, right? So the thing is that create a ledger, have a list of companies that you have applied for, when to follow up, when to make the follow-up calls, take the follow-up notes, line up interviews. So normally on Naukri.com and timesjobs.com these things have been automized now, right? But still you need to log into those ledgers and do a systematic evaluation and follow a disciplined process, right? So always try to keep your records accurate and make a timely follow-up and have a systematic approach. Basically be serious about it. It is not a cakewalk or everybody's cup of tea. So it will take some effort and you need to be disciplined in it. So that's the main point, be disciplined. Next is the poor research. So the whole thing is that people don't do these kind of homework and they don't do proper research, right? So haphazard mailing and phone calls to company you know very little about will rarely give you any positive results, right? These results means successful research if you do for an organization or for a company, right? It will help you in three major ways, right? First, it will help you to focus on the right companies and the right position, right? So for example, say you are researching an investment management jobs, right? And you may find that these particular institutes are coming up very strong in the emerging market. So you will try to focus on them and your research effort will develop a momentum of its own. So as you identify areas and industries that appeal you and help you to reach further, you will keep on getting these kind of companies in and out for your organization. Alright. Secondly, it will reveal those skills and character traits that you need to highlight in your CV and other correspondence with the particular company or the firm that you are trying to establish, right? So see, basically what happens is that once you keep on following or researching for an organization day in day out, right, you will come to know that what kind of qualities, what kind of values, what kind of culture they are into, and slowly and gradually you will come to know that what kind of people they will accept for their organization, right? So you will have to go through some self-assessment in order to weed out such things that are unwanted. So you can do it at your own, and obviously in our next few modules we will be helping you out of that, right? And third thing is that once you have done enough research on the organization or the company, you know ins and outs. Say you know their past 3 years financial records in and out, what are the issues they had, what was the sales target they have achieved, why they have not been able to achieve, or why they have been achieved, what was their financial targets, how was their annual reports, right? And when you, after these so much information, when you go for the interview, right, it will seem that you are an insider, you know the ins and outs of the organization, right? So when you are talking in terms of their language, in their numbers, right, it is obviously going to hit the interviewer, right? And once you are able to do that, right, I don't think that they won't get impressed. So this is one of the factor. I'm not talking about this is the only factor, but yes, this is one of the factor, right? So do your research and do your homework very well. I will keep on telling this thing, and I again insist on research, right? Next is having a poor CV. Now the thing is that many people don't know how to make a CV, right? And they don't focus on their major activities, their major accomplishments. There are spelling and grammatical mistakes, and for each organization there are different skill sets required, but they have one common CV and they shoot it everywhere, and these kind of CVs becomes the prime reason of getting eliminated in the first round itself, right? So the whole thing is that perfect your CV, make sure it represents you in the best possible light, and that is geared for the job you are targeting, right? And highlight those skills and attributes from your research that are relevant for this organization and emphasize them more, right? So we have a dedicated entire module for resume development, that is the resume development masterclass. So you will get all the tips and these things, but I'm just sharing one of the reasons for not having a better job search, or the common mistakes that regarding the CV which we do during a job search. Next is cover letter. Now cover letters are basically your, what you can say, first key to open the first lock, right? So a cover letter is your chance to really sell yourself and highlight exactly those skills and personal attributes that a company is looking for, or your future employer is looking for, right? Now this is your opportunity to really shine, so that you don't waste or take it lightly. So while writing a good cover letter, right, make sure that the needs of the employers are met in cover letters, and you can tell them that how your contribution will be helpful to the company, right? And along with that, you attach one CV that is a good CV, right? And always make sure that your cover letters are not too boring, not too long, right? Or they are lacking enthusiasm. So try to balance it out, all the things that are possible, right? We will discuss in this thing in the cover letter issue, right? Poor networking. Yes, this means earlier I have emphasized this thing. Here also I am emphasizing once again, but here we will talk at a different perspective, right? So the whole issue is that many people make the mistake of networking just to sell themselves for the immediate opportunity. So if you come to know that in a particular company there is one vacancy, so what you will do, you will go on LinkedIn, you will search the company, target the manager, and then send him the LinkedIn request. And then once if he gets connect, then immediately jump to a conclusion that, oh boss, you are having this vacancy, so I would like to apply, and this. It doesn't work that way, right? So see, networking is basically a long-term give and take process, right? So if you're trying to quick fix the problem, then it is not going to work, right? Your goal is to create a dialogue with the contact, right? That goes beyond one phone call or two phone calls. You should be able to impress and develop sufficiently good rapport with the contact for them to refer you as a subject matter expert or as an authority if their contacts or their friends or some relatives are looking for job, right? The whole issue is that effective networking is all about developing a long-term good rapport and relationship. So rapport management is the thing that you need to look into, right? So just look into, focus on this thing. Don't try to fix the problems in a very short term, right? Next is careless follow, right? I have seen many people BCC में 2500 लोगों को मार्क कर दिया. You have one CV, dear sir, please find attached with my resume, dear sir / madam. please find attached with my resume and start your mass mailing. And once you mass mail, then you start follow up with those mass mailings, and I know as a HR person, it gets, means I also get hundreds of mails for reference and from reference and for follow-ups, and I mean for jobs and all the things. And to be very honest, if I see a mail coming from dear sir and madam oblique madam, right, I delete it immediately or I ignore it. I don't even have a look at it unless and until it is mentioned dear Mr. Sawant or dear Nitesh. If it is addressed at personal level, then and then only I care to open those mails, right? And then it basically it is a kind of nagging that you are doing to the employer by constantly following up, and it's very annoying, right? So the thing is that have your follow-up strategy planned in a very systematic manner, and keep the dialogue open, right? Don't let it get closed. So the whole thing is that just in case you miss the opportunity this time, you have an opportunity next time, right? So if you have a positive impact on the organization, but for some reasons they have not been able to select you, but they will keep in mind that okay, there was one guy or there was one girl, right, who had a good rapport with us. So instead of calling all other candidates, why don't we call him or her, right? So there are chances that some windows are open and some doors are open while we look for a follow-up, right? And last is interview skills. This is one of the most basic thing, right? See, now if you have reached to an interview stage, right, that means you have all the credentials, experience and skills that employer is looking for, right? Because to be very honest, if you ask me that I won't like to do time pass, so I'm not going to waste my time interviewing people who are irrelevant for my organization or for the position, correct? So the thing is that if you have reached to an interview stage, then almost 50 to 70% you have cleared the things. Because why I'm saying this thing is, by looking at your CV or your cover letter and CV, the employer thinks that okay, you are the person who can do the job, right? So in interview process there are two things. First, you decide whether this person is suitable or not. And second thing, you call him and confirm whether he will be able to do, he is capable of doing that job or not. And last 10% is whether he is ready to work on your terms and condition or the CTC that you are going to offer. So 50%, if he shortlists you, your 50% job is done. 40% is confirmed during the face-to-face interview. And there are 10% chances that if you are ready to the CTC what they are offering, then you are landing into a job. The only thing is that even if you are capable of doing the job and you confirm that you will be doing the job, but if your CTC does not matches your criteria, then you may not take the offer, right? So why I say that if you are called for an interview, then 50 to 70% job is done, right? So now the thing is that do not jeopardize your chances by short selling yourself at this stage or making some big blunders, right? So the common mistakes what you do is lack of preparation. You are not prepared. You have not researched your company. And second thing, always make a point that you memorize your CV in and out. Means even if your CV is not in front of you, but you should be able to go through the entire CV visually, right? Then show some enthusiasm. Lack of enthusiasm, nobody is interested in non-enthusiastic people, right? Negative answers, people tend to give negative answers, but be prepared for this. I mean, in my interview session I will be covering all those things, right? So I'm sure I will prepare you for interview sessions in a such a way that it will be you will be acing the interviews that I'm confident of, right, friends? So this brings to end of this chapter. See you in next chapter. Till then, goodbye.